So Amanda is going to cut the cake. I hope everybody took a look at those beauties. It's going to be tough to cut them because they're like a work of art. But what Amanda and Sheridan are going to do is they're going to cut the cake and they're going to bring it to you so you guys don't have to wait in line so we can get moving with it. So if anyone wants to take one last run over there and look at those beauties before they cut it, please do. Otherwise, you'll be getting your cake soon. All right, so an official welcome to everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so happy to have you. For those of you that were here last year who were maybe inducted or had something to do with the entrepreneurship program, we were squished into Grace. And this year, Grace conference room downstairs. And so this is really very, very nice. And it's a lovely evening too. So hopefully everybody's getting their cake. Hope it tastes good. Again, thank you for being here. I truly, truly appreciate coming here and supporting your children, your students, and seeing them grow throughout their process here at Clark. Most of all the Sigma Nu Tau are seniors with one junior, so you've watched this long journey that they've been through. And it's really exciting to see that their hard work pays off. So before we get started, I want to say again a few things. The live stream is now live, and it will be on our Clark Student Ventures webpage, and we're going to try to stay with this time frame, so if you have somebody in particular you would like to see or to watch, then they can join in on this time frame. Everybody should have a list of times on there. What we're going to do tonight is Dr. Jordan is going to come up here. He is the new dean of SOM with some amazing changes going on in SOM, and I could not be more excited and more proud to be part of SOM, which is part of entrepreneurship is part of SOM. So he's going to share a few words with us about where we're going with this incredible new change that we've got going on. Then we have a fantastic keynote speaker. I don't know if this is appropriate to say, but he's the new Lawrence Norman. If anybody knows Lawrence Norman, he's the new Lawrence Norman. Yeah, I see a couple of people shaking their head. Yep, we got that. He is going to be our keynote speaker. I'll introduce him in just a little bit. Then we're going to go through and do the inductions. We've got the cords and their certificates here. After that, we have a short little program that some of our entrepreneurship students have put together to share with you what the entrepreneurship program, the thrift store, the Clark Place, I don't want to give it away, have things that have been going on in the program. That's about a little 15-minute share that we're going to do. Then we will jump into the Entrepreneurship Awards for Entrepreneur of the Year, Venture of the Year, and Up and Coming of the Year, and my favorite, the Program Manager's Recognition Award. And then we'll call it a night. So that's really all I have to say. Like I said, I'd like to bring Dr. Jordan up here and let him tell you where entrepreneurship and SOM is going.
Well, before I begin and provide my thanks, so let's recognize Teresa Quinn for putting this whole thing on and the dedication that she gives to our students throughout the year is just quite remarkable. So my job is to say welcome, and I want to give some thanks. First of all, to Teresa, as I mentioned, but there are some other incredibly special people sitting in this room. Family. Mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, people who have come to recognize and support their students, their loved ones. And without the families involved, we would be less rich in our appreciation for all the work, hard work, that our students put into everything they do, all of their studies, all of their entrepreneurial ventures, all of the activities that they're engaged with throughout the year. So students, can I ask you to thank your families for being here? Okay. Or in loved ones. Finally, I want to thank and acknowledge the 12 recipients of this year's Sigma Nu Tau Honor Society Award. This is something that doesn't come easily. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of dedication, and a lot of commitment. And for those 12 of you who are receiving this award tonight in recognition, I congratulate you. You've earned it. We are here to acknowledge your effort, and I can only tell you how proud of you we are, all of us, all of your faculty, all of your professors, my Associate Dean, Andrea Elos here tonight, and others who have been talking about this event for quite some time. So it's a night for you, it's a night for you to celebrate, it's a night for you to have some fun and acknowledge the great collegiality we all share together here at the School of Management. By the way, I should mention, Teresa mentioned that lots of change is going on, and one of the things I did want to mention that probably within the next couple of months, we're going to be changing our name. School of Management will soon become the Clark School of Business, which evokes an awareness of the many types of program offerings and majors and minors that we offer. And so we're looking forward to that change for new students coming into this fall. So much to do, much going on. Thank you so much for being here tonight, for your engagement, and for you young entrepreneurs. Just start, and you will be richly rewarded in the future. Okay. Bless you all. Thank you so much.
All right. I want to mention it again because we do have a lot more people in here. There are bubbles on your table, okay? There are bubbles, and I want to see bubbles because we all have winners and honorees and all kinds of stuff, so I hope to see some bubbles as we're going. I did open my bubbles down there, and they are truly soapy, so you might want to make sure we have a wet napkin to clean off the fingers. Anyway, we're going to move along. We're going to move on to our keynote speaker, and as I mentioned, he has graciously picked up where Professor Lawrence Norman has left off. Professor Lawrence Norman has brought a tremendous energy to our entrepreneurship program with bringing in so many different speakers, guests, helped with internships, just really an amazing class. And so Dan Mazie has picked up the torch, and they actually did a video on it. They actually had a video where he was passing the torch, and he is now teaching a half-credit class, entrepreneurship. I'm going to let you tell the name of it because it's kind of a long one. Good. But I wanted to give a little bit of background. He currently is the founder of All Tangled Roots, which I thought was so interesting talking to him because his background, he's worked at Tinder, which I thought was kind of cool just to say that. He's worked at Unicorn, if I said it correctly, Director of Global Communications at Activision Blizzard, and Reebok, and some of these just amazing companies. And then he decided to start his own marketing company. And when we were talking, and he was telling me about taking over for the legendary Lawrence Norman, I just said, why did you do that? And I know I'm not going to say it the way he did, but he really brought it to taking care of the customer, I know he's going to say it so much better, but it was eye-opening and very Clarky-esque, where you put the person that you're working for and with in the forefront. It wasn't necessarily all about making that money, all those dollars. It was really helping people to get to the next level in their marketing. So I was quite impressed with just that jump from Tinder to to All Tangled Roots, and it's an interesting story, and I hope he shares a little bit about it. But he is our speaker tonight, so let's give it up for Dan Mazie.
All right. Do you know if the presentation is queued up? I'd be happy to sing right now, but I don't know if anyone would enjoy it. So we'll wait for the presentation instead. We could do bubbles. I kind of hope for some bubbles do we need to hold the bubbles? Yeah, we should hold the bubbles for important things. There we go. That's my mug. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Teresa, for the kind introduction. Too kind. Apparently, I am the guy who stands in the shadow of Professor Lawrence Norman, but I'm also known as Dan Mazey, and I am the founder and principal of All Tangled Roots, which is a marketing and communications consultancy. I'm honored to be speaking here tonight at the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program Awards. When Teresa invited me to be the keynote speaker, I had one theme that sort of immediately popped to mind for me, one that would resonate universally, unite us regardless of our path, and advance our collective strength as professionals. And that is, of course, AI and the rise of the robots. It is not. That's not what I'm going to talk about. I actually did think about talking about AI, but when I talked to Teresa in her infinite wisdom, she suggested politely that maybe I focus on a topic that's a little less divisive. So I will not be talking about AI and our incumbent death, but I am going to talk about intelligence, just a different kind of intelligence, one that is innately human, but we all seem to find a way to overlook and undervalue when it comes to business, and that is emotional intelligence, EI, or as we might call it, EQ in our required trainings and modules. In all seriousness, the attributes of caring and kindness and empathy are undeniably central to what we're here to celebrate and honor tonight, entrepreneurship and innovation, and to our overall success and satisfaction in the workplace. Despite this, they're often missing from the equation. Look no further than the world's largest source of information, Google. When I look up the most innovative leaders, I get about 400 million results from some of the biggest and most reputable news sources in the world, identifying in less than a second the business minds that we can all admire: Tim Cook and Jeff Bezos and Reed Hastings and Bill Gates, right? Appropriate? But when I look up the kindest leaders, Google seems to struggle here. They deliver me about 800,000 results, so that's about 0.2% of what I got returned from the other search, if that says anything. And even within this, as you can see from the snippet that Google has provided me here, I'm being told that I should look to Gandhi and MLK Jr. and Winston Churchill for inspiration in kindness and leadership. Does Google really believe there's no living human being who actually would be a good example of a kind leader? Doesn't exist, I guess? I don't know. It's very interesting. As Teresa mentioned in her very kind intro, I spent 20 years of my career working inside big brands like Reebok and Ford and Tinder and Activision Blizzard. They're all great, and they gave me experiences I'll never forget. Launching iconic products that forever changed the marketplace, working with some of the smartest and most influential people in the world, solving complex problems with innovative solutions. But over time, I became almost numb to the fact that the people in charge and who were rising the proverbial ladder in these organizations were all exhibiting very common behaviors: decisiveness, tenaciousness, resolve. I, perhaps unconsciously, learned to emulate these behaviors. They were my North Star for getting ahead, which, as this room I'm sure can feel, you want to do in an organization, especially when you're new. And ultimately, they became my own bar for evaluating my peers and even the contributions that they made. But when I decided at the end of last year to take a leap of faith and start my own business, a marketing and communications consultancy, these weren't the behaviors that sprang to mind for me. In fact, when I did an interview to launch my business, I talked very specifically about a time when I was inside an agency. There was a young woman who'd spent 10 years at that agency, her whole career, and she counted on the people there not just as her peers and her coworkers, but as her lifelong friends. She happened to have epilepsy, and one day she had a seizure in the office. She fell to the floor, She was rushed to the hospital, and unfortunately, a few days later, she passed away. When a group of us as senior leaders were told the news, we went to the rooftop of our office to hug and to be with each other and process the news. I was pretty new at the agency. I didn't really know anyone personally, but it was very clear to me that I needed to provide support to these people because they just lost someone very, very special to them. And I wanted to be that guy. Around the same time, the whole office, which was about 1,000 people at this agency, were told the news. And we came down, the senior leaders came down about 30 minutes later and rejoined the office. And as I looked around, I was surprised to see it was almost like nothing had happened. People were taking client calls, they were in rooms brainstorming, they were rushing urgently from one phone to another to meet deadlines. And it was in that moment that I realized that we truly could be at risk of losing our humanity in favor of what we think is productivity or the right way to do things. So when I sat down to write my goals for my consultancy, I thought about this. I thought about the fact that so many people are struggling right now to manage a heavier workload, to be both great parents and great professionals, to work and live oftentimes in the same place, in the same house. If I was going to really add value to these leaders as a consultant, how could I ignore the emotional burden that they all carry? All the decisiveness and tenaciousness and resolve in the world wasn't going to help a CMO who might be new to this country and doesn't know our customs, or who is struggling in their job, or who's crying in their office behind a closed door. Seems really obvious, right? But yet, here we are. And I wonder why. Why do we seem to think that kindness and caring and empathy can't coexist with our traditional definitions of success? And perhaps one reason is our own cultural depiction of what success actually looks like. When we think about it, we might imagine this when we think of the word innovation. The man responsible for these innovations, right up there, I'm sure everyone knows who that is, has been and continues to be heralded as something of a deity, sort of a god in business. We recite his quotes, we watch movies and documentaries about him, and we even sometimes dress like him. But while Steve Jobs is universally famous, and rightfully so, for creating and marketing really beautiful products, he's also a bit infamous for what you might consider an inherent lack of kindness and empathy. He routinely berated his employees. He trashed ideas that weren't his own. He hoarded his fortunes instead of donating to charity. These are all things in a book that he signed off on. And there's that whole thing with, denying that he had a daughter. Now, contrast that with this guy. Does anyone know who this is? I'm guessing that's a no. It's Glenn DeVries. He was the CEO of a very successful company called Metadata. He founded the company in 1999 and over 20 years achieved the rare feat of a double exit, taking Metadata public in 2009 and then staying on as its leader for another decade until he sold the company for $5 billion with a B in 2019. And while that's enormously impressive for any entrepreneur, and I'm sure inspiring for people in this room, it's not why I'm talking about him. See, a dear friend of mine works for Metadata, and years back, his best friend found out that despite her best efforts, it was medically unlikely that she and her husband were going to be able to conceive a child naturally. So his friend made the difficult decision to go down the long and complicated and financially burdensome road of surrogacy. Fortunately, she and her husband found a willing couple that would conceive for them. Some time goes by with everything going smoothly, and a huge surprise. The friend and her husband, who thought they could never have a baby, find out that they're actually going to be able to have a kid and get pregnant naturally. So a great thing, right? A miracle. They give birth near their home in New Jersey to a baby girl, but she's so small she could fit in the mother's hand. She's premature and had to be fed through a feeding tube in the NICU. A few months later, the surrogates that they had picked also give birth to twins nonetheless. And if you'll believe this, the twins were also born premature, and they're also in a NICU, but they're thousands of miles away in San Antonio, Texas. With their own baby in need in New Jersey, and the couple weren't able to get to Texas to pick up their newborn twins and bring them home. And for weeks, the husband would fly back and forth from New Jersey to Texas as his wife recovered and tended to their newborn baby in the NICU. As you might expect, this very quickly became untenable, financially, professionally, and frankly, emotionally. That's when the ask came to my friend at Metadata. It was a real Hail Mary. His best friend said, "Do you happen to know anyone with a private jet?" And strangely enough, he did. It was a CEO, Glenn DeVries. He had a private jet, but this was a big ask, people. This was a huge ask. And naturally, my friend was reticent to go into an office and ask for a private jet. But he swallowed his concerns and he nervously went to Glenn's office on a Friday afternoon where he found the CEO's door literally wide open. And after some pleasantries, my friend spit out the big question. To his complete shock, and without a moment of hesitation, Mr. DeVries said, "Absolutely, yes. Tell me what you need." My friend made what he describes as the phone call of a lifetime to tell his best friend the news, and of course she was crying with joy and appreciation for what she heard. But then there was a snag in this perfect plan that seemed to have unfolded. See, a private jet wasn't actually enough because of the baby's conditions, the twins. They needed the jet to be medically equipped, given the twins' physical state. So my friend went back to his CEO, Mr. DeVries, and asked an even bigger question. Is there any way you can get me a medically equipped jet for my friend? And without hesitation, again, it was a yes. But this time he just had one stipulation. He said, "This has to be anonymous." Because as he put it, this is not about me, this is about uniting a family and making them one. So Mr. DeVries wired the money over the weekend and secured the medically equipped jet. And a week and a half later, the plane landed safely in Texas, and the twins were safely reunited with their new parents. I tell you this story because Mr. DeVries, unfortunately, isn't with us today, but my friend has since proudly shared the story and gave me permission to use it as a testament and as an eternal memorial to the caliber of human being and leader that he was. And I share it with you today because, well, Mr. DeVries was enormously successful in every business sense, in every definition of success that we may share here. Isn't this the kind of achievement that we should actually celebrate? This selflessness and kindness and empathy that he shared with someone who he didn't even know? I don't share any of this to lecture you, trust me, even though I lecture now apparently, or to make some kind of indictment on the way that we see business or do business in America. It's not that at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite to me. It's an opportunity to do something different, to do something better, to do something that will drive business forward in a way that meets the very human needs of the next generation of leaders, the people that will sit in these seats for decades to come. And the good news is that people are asking for it. U.S. workers feel that empathy leads to increased efficiency, creativity, job satisfaction, and innovation. It's good news, right? Nearly 8 in 10 people are more likely to apply for a job posting that lists kindness as a value in the job description. And 90% of those people also see kindness as a high priority in the job that they take and in the workforce. More than 8 in 10 people prefer a brand's values aligned to their own. And 40%, if you can believe this, will permanently boycott their favorite brand if those values of that brand don't match theirs. And finally, more than half of U.S. employees would take a pay cut for a company that shares their values. And let's get something very, very straight here. The values that we're talking about are not shareholder value. So I think that the writing is really on the wall here. And in fact, it's sort of screaming to us. Successful businesses may continue to be lauded for revenue growth and market capitalization, but they can't sustainably achieve these goals without basic human emotions, without EQ, without EI, without caring, without empathy, without kindness. And it starts with each and every one of us in this room, all of you at the tables. So look around and read through the achievements that we're going to highlight and that we're going to honor today. I feel more than confident that we're placing the future of entrepreneurship and innovation in the right hands, hands that are firmly connected to our hearts, and that will shape the business in the most meaningful and distinctly human way that we can. When you leave here tonight, especially all of you students, and you dream about the possibility of what's next, I ask you to remember this. I ask you to make the commitment to do better. I ask you to decide to be more human. And when you do, you'll be on the path not only to make business better, but also the world around you. Thank you.
Lawrence Norman who? No, just kidding, just kidding. No, thank you so very, very much. That was wonderful. And as I had mentioned, he's a Clarkie through and through. I don't know what happened in Michigan. That's where he went. I don't even know what school it was. But yes, he's here where he belongs now. Thank you very much for doing that. That was very insightful. So now we're going to move on to some awards, the Sigma Nu Tau inductions. Stacy Hargis, adjunct professor here at Clark University Entrepreneurship Program. She is going to read what Sigma Nu Tau means, plus also the code to which you are being inducted by, and I will pass out the cords and certificates. So are we ready to get started on that? Okay.
Yes.
One more thing. So what we'll do is we'll call you up here. I'll give you your cords, and if everybody can just stay up here so she can read the code at once.
I'll remind you as well. Hi, good evening. It's a nice night. I love this time of the evening where the sun looks beautiful in here. It's really nice. So I have the pleasure of conducting the Sigma Nu Tau Entrepreneurship Honor Society inductions. The requirement is a 3.6 GPA and, of course, a commitment to the growth of entrepreneurship here at Clark University. The first letter of our organization, the Greek letter sigma, looks like a stylized letter E. As such, it stands for entrepreneurship and enterprise, key concepts for the individuals who belong to this organization. But sigma is also the Greek symbol for summation, the total or sum of the parts. Entrepreneurs know that they must bring all their education and experience into play in their quest for success. And I'll add compassion and empathy as well. To be pioneers of innovation, they must incorporate all that they have learned. The second letter of our organization, the Greek letter nu, represents how the entrepreneur must navigate through uncharted waters and create a new path. Through creativity, innovation, and risk-taking, as well as through hard work and persistence, the entrepreneur brings new ideas to life and enhances the world in which we live. The path the entrepreneur chooses may not be the easiest, but determination reaps great rewards in the end. The third letter of our organization, the Greek letter tau, represents the entrepreneur's tenacity to cling to their visions, to make decisions, and to learn from their mistakes. It also represents the entrepreneur's determination to bring something from nothing. In ancient times, tau was the symbol of life. The entrepreneur is one who embraces life by dreaming of what could be, by developing a vision, and by bringing new ideas, products, and services to life. The official colors of Sigma Nu Tau are green and gold, representing fertile ideas, growth, and prosperity. The logo is a square with a white diagonal stripe containing the Greek letters Sigma Nu Tau. Now that you have heard what qualifies students for membership and more about the society itself, it's now time to induct our new members. So would you please come up, Teresa Quinn, and assist in the ceremony? We will be presenting to each member a certificate, as well as a lapel pin and graduation honor cord. As each inductee's name is called, please sign the membership record first, and then come forward for your presentation of the materials. We would like everyone to remain up front after receiving your certificate so that we can take a group photo. All right, so name.
First one we have is Dylan Kern.
This one? Done? Make sure you come sign it. Yeah. I'll remind you. So come up here and sign in. This is the official part. So.
Next is Victoria Pastor Osorio.
Congratulations, Dylan. Yeah, come stand right here. Yeah. Okay, come on up. No, this is working. We can.
Okay, it's what the typical me, not following direction. All right. All right, the next one is Rebecca Marrero. I'm sure I said that right. Marrero. Sorry. Next is one of my very first, a little teary-eyed, one of my very first FYI students, Raven Quare.
Okay, sign in here. You're going to print and sign.
Next is Alex Chozian. Next is Moses Millman.
Congratulations. Here, slide over, because now, yeah, okay, perfect.
So I talked to this young lady earlier, so I can do this. I can mess this one up. This is Ellie from Greece. Go ahead and say your last name.
Mukhtaridou.
Okay, does everyone understand? Oh, Sadie's right here. Okay. Oh, I'm just not the best with names. Rebecca Caswell Shakram? Okay, all right. Okay, the next one is Zing Hao, also known as Rick. Zhang. And we have one, last but not least. You probably thought I forgot about you, didn't you? Anthony Locosto. Anthony actually got into Sigma Nu Tau last year, but had a baseball game, so he wasn't able to attend. So we are honoring him tonight. And I tore my office apart looking for his certificate, but he told me I gave it to him last year. So, but he didn't get his cord. So.
And as you're signing in, we'll start to prepare for the pledge.
We do have one more, Sadie Cam, but she was unable
I'm
to
sorry.
attend.
So, save. Okay, so would all the inductees please raise your right hand, and as I read the membership pledge, you will say, oh, you don't have to repeat after me. I thought you actually did. Okay, so I'll just get through it, and then at the end, you will say, I do, if you agree. Okay, pretty simple. Okay. I pledge to uphold the mission, the values, and the ideals of Sigma Nu Tau Entrepreneurship Honor Society. I will strive to use my education and experience to create successful ventures and a better society. And I will challenge myself and others to be principled entrepreneurs. I will be honest in my dealings with others and seek always to represent Sigma Nu Tau and Clark University with integrity. Do you agree to uphold this pledge? Well, thank you. We now have our 2004 Clark University So congratulations, and please join me in congratulating the newest members of the chapter. All right, and one group photo, let me get out of the way.
We are ahead of schedule. Does anybody want to just slow it down or anything? Or should we keep moving? Okay, we'll keep moving. All right, so we are going to do a presentation, a year-end in review of the entrepreneurship program. I wish I could say it as well as the students, but but they live it and breathe it. And so when we were talking about how we were going to put this together and share what has happened over this past year in entrepreneurship, I just said, no, you guys do it. You guys make so much more sense than I ever could. And when I brought up a couple things that I wanted to talk about, I thought, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? It was one of those things, Quinn, just don't even worry about it. We got it. And they did. They put this whole thing together, and I could not be more proud of them. They're going to share with you what we've done this year. We've had pop-ups, successful pop-ups. In 2020, when there was absolutely nothing going on this campus, our good friend, Sonny Szyminski, decided he was going to have a pop-up out here. He had five small businesses. Last year, on a beautiful spring day, we had 61. And it was, yes, Sonny did put up those tables. He was always out there bringing people out, but it was the entrepreneurs. It was so infectious that everyone wanted to be a part of it. And everyone saw that they could be a part of it. Entrepreneurship is not one of those things where you have to be in a club of sorts. It was, if you've got a passion, we brought you out there, even if you sold snakes. Oh, everybody was welcome, and it's just a beautiful sight to see. We started a podcast, which the title was Unity Through Entrepreneurship, and shared stories that were unique about entrepreneurship that wasn't your typical, as Dan had showed, wasn't the Steve Jobs of the world. It was everyday people that had a story to tell. We've had tremendous success at the thrift store, which they'll be sharing with you. We've just done so many wonderful things, and like I said, I wish I could share it as well as they could, so instead of me yammering on, I'm going to let them take care of business here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to show a short video that was put together by Natalie Hong. Then we're going to go in and we're going to introduce a new venture that we are starting tonight. We're actually launching it tonight, and you are the first to see it. And then we'll go into a little bit about what's going on at the ever-popular thrift store. So are we ready? All right, let's do this.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Henry Reyes. I've been working for the entrepreneurship department for quite some time now. The first thing that I started off doing was going into Professor Quinn's office about the entrepreneurship club and getting that restarted. It was a couple of students in the soccer program, so that was something I was involved in and something that was just my first step into entrepreneurship. I really didn't know what entrepreneurship was coming to Clark or coming to college, but it's been something that, especially at Clark, has allowed me to find a community, a really supportive cast of people who always contribute to each other's ideas, and something I think that's very different about here is no idea is too small or unable to be implemented. We have resources and programs and things set up for people to do whatever you want to, and ideally it's for free or for as to benefit the community as best we can. And I think that's something that's very special to Clark, so I thank you, Dan, for bringing stuff like that up. And I want to show my support for all the staff that's here. I think we have 22 or 24 total people, TAs, staff, but there's a bunch here. We have a bunch of programs to show you guys what we've been doing. A lot of the stuff we do is behind the scenes, so you don't see it. The event is just what we have to show off and stuff like that, and we're really hard working and behind the scenes doing stuff. So to present, we have a video just to show a little bit about what is entrepreneurship for the staff and sort of what we do on the everyday basis. So thank you so much. And also, all the credit for the video and thanks goes out to Natalie, who did a fantastic job pulling together everything. So please, a round of applause for Natalie.
Do you just want me to say my answer?
Thanks a bunch, man.
Thank you.
Excuse me a second.
You looked away and you made me get all nervous.
Entrepreneurship means to me
Entrepreneurship for me.
Entrepreneurship means to me
being able to pivot when you need to.
Getting by and having fun.
It's all about finding your passion and building something for yourself.
Entrepreneurship is a fun challenge.
Entrepreneurship means
Love.
Entrepreneurship means to me getting to share my creative talents with others.
and enjoy the art that I make.
To me, entrepreneurship means community.
giving. When you are an entrepreneur and you're bringing creativity and life into this world, you have a responsibility to share your knowledge, resources, or wealth.
Entrepreneurship is the biggest factor in bridging the gap and closing the gap of inequality. Anybody can be an entrepreneur. I think I had the most takes. Natalie told me I had the most takes to get it right. And when I walked away from her, she made me laugh. I was on a roll, and then she made me laugh, and I just messed it up. But I truly believe that entrepreneurship and having that ability to create and bring to life all these things is slowly shrinking that gap of inequality. I believe it firmly, and I push it constantly on that. So the next thing that we're going to do, okay, it's a technical thing here. So we might bear with us on our technical stuff here. But what I have here for you are two very incredible students. They're going to introduce themselves when they get up here. One's a first year and one's a second year. And they are my web design team. We have a website. I hope all of you have checked it out. But they have added a new feature to this website, and this is the night it's getting launched. So I'd like to invite Kai and Emily up to the stage.
Where's the other microphone? Thank you. This is what we meant with technical difficulties. Does it work? Yeah. Okay.
It works.
Well, hi, my name's Kyan,
And I'm Emily.
and today we have something very special to unveil to you all once the presentation is on the screen. The cake was good, right? Awesome. Could we go to the slideshow first? All good, no worries.
We'll get there.
Awesome. Alrighty. So yeah, today we're unveiling the Clarketplace. First off, we're going to provide a little bit of background. Who are we?
So my name is Emily Levesque. I'm a second year here at Clark, and I've been working on the website since January, and it's been one of the most rewarding experiences I've had at Clark. So I'm a marketing major with an entrepreneurship minor, and I have a small business here on campus called Sweetberry Stationery, which is your one-stop shop for anything cute, personalized, and truly yours.
Yeah, my name's Kyan. You can call me Kai. I've been working with the E&I program since January. I'm a first year. I'm a computer science major. And yeah, likewise, working here has been great, and it's been especially very fun working on what we're about to share with you all, which is the Clarketplace. So, what is the Clarketplace? To keep it simple, it's a place for Clarkies to host their businesses. It's a little bit like a mix between Fiverr, which is a freelancing website, and Etsy, which is a website where you can host, small businesses. Basically, any Clarkie is able to host their business on here, whether it's a small business or something they've had established for a very long time, anything like that. The difference is, it's not just Clarkies who can buy from it, anybody can buy from it. Alumni, family, friends, anybody. So just think Etsy, Fiverr, but it's just Clarkie businesses. Now you might be asking, what are some examples of stuff I can buy off of this website?
Yeah, so you can buy anything Clark made, and anything that you would want is either already on here or will be on here in the future. So if you need a gift for someone, if you need a new piece of jewelry, some art for your home, if you need some healthy microgreens or a sweet treat, or if you want to adopt a pet snake, you can do all of that at the Clarketplace.
Absolutely. So now it's time for a little tiny little demo. So let's switch tabs to the actual Clarketplace, which is live on the website now. Do we have a mouse over here? Oh, yes, we do. Great. So yeah, this is the home page for the Clarketplace. There we go. So I'm just going to scroll through here real quick. Obviously, you can all go and check it out yourselves, but we have all of these Clarkie businesses. I don't know if I'll be able to, let's see. Yes, I will. Let's say you're looking for a snake, as Emily mentioned. You search snake, boom, High Def Hognose. That's one of our student businesses on the website. Let's say you're really in the mood for a cookie. Boom, Doze Me or Comfort Food Clark. Obviously, the amount of businesses on here will expand as the website's been up for longer, as, again, any Clark student is available to post their website on here, host it here. As long as they follow our guidelines for posting, it can be on here.
So this is also just a beta version of this
Yes.
site. It's going to grow into something much larger in the future. So you can't buy things, there's no like shopping cart feature. However, if you click on any of these, everyone outlines exactly how to buy from them, their websites, their Instagrams, their LinkedIns, everything.
Yeah, this is just an example. As we said, High Def Hognose. Very great company. I think it's so cool. Selling snakes is so awesome. As a college student, that's so cool. Anyways, just one example. Sorry, I'm really giddy about this. But yeah, we're going to switch right back to the presentation here. So.
Okay, so with all of that being said, take this opportunity now to scan this QR code or the QR code on your tables to buy from a Clarkie. This is a great opportunity to support Clarkies who are working so hard every day to grow their businesses and their careers into something they can be proud of.
And you should have little flyers on your table with the QR code. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Wonderful. All right.
All right, the next person we are going to have up here is Esther Lazar. She is the thrift store manager, and she has brought the thrift store miles ahead just in organization, staffing. She's the one to talk about it. She has put together a presentation to show you what's going on in the thrift store and also what we're looking forward to in the future and how you can help. So I'm going to turn it over to Esther.
Hi, everybody. My name is Esther Lasser, and I'm the store manager of the Clark University Thrift Store. I'm a freshman here at Clark, and I'm majoring in psychology with a minor in studio art. I would like to thank all of our guests for showing up tonight. It means a lot to us, but I would also especially like to thank my fellow staff members. You can give everybody a wave if you want to. So the thrift store was first started in 2010 by 2 Clark students who won Clark Tank and were awarded $3,000 for it. From there, it has grown substantially. The store is now run with student initiatives that are represented through a cross-disciplinary approach. The thrift store is the hub for all things entrepreneurship, such as Clark Collective and Clark Tank. We host many events and programs to try and support the Clark community, such as the Creative Co-op, where students can use our space to sell their self-run startup businesses through the school year. Our biggest event of the year is the Clark University Fashion Show, where we promote student designs, modeling opportunities, and musical performances. This event creates community, is beloved by students and staff, and takes months of planning and staff outreach. The Thrift Store Art Show is another event that we are proud to bring to Clark. The art show gives students, regardless of a major, a chance to premiere their creations through a sales gallery event. I'm going to present it after. Yeah, I got it. All of these events are a central and crucial part of our involvement on campus. When the thrift store first started, its initial vision was sustainability. Since then, we have continued to implement that vision for the past 14 years, expanding our program to give Clark entrepreneurs a platform to thrive. We want to continue offering these avenues and more for Clark entrepreneurs to showcase their endeavors. However, the funding for staffing these events is over and above the revenue generated by clothes and other items in the store. Our staff put their heart and soul into every one of these projects for the benefit of the thrift store and our fellow students, and being able to supplement their efforts is our #1 priority. At this time, we break even in covering our staffing costs for day-to-day operations. However, the financial drain on the store is covering these additional event staffing costs has begun to take a toll. Therefore, we are looking to raise money to cover the staffing and event costs related to these projects. We identified our low-performing events and immediately eliminated them. Then we identified our top 5 attended events and attached a rough estimated budget to each and will be what we are seeking funding for today. By focusing our budget on these 5 events, we can assure quality and success within all areas of our efforts. With your funding, we can do bigger and better things with our program. So here are some examples of the events that we like to do at the Clark Thrift Store. One of the first ones is concerts. We have 2 music shows a year, one in the fall and one in the spring. We also have the fashion show. This is one of our biggest events of the year. We have a great turnout for this, and it's a great opportunity for people to try modeling if they want to. We use clothes from the thrift store to model all of the people that want to run in it, and it's overall just really fun. And then we also have the art show. A lot of my friends have been trying to get into this one since coming to Clark because it's really cool. And it just gives students a way to present their art no matter what major they are. Any sort of art, photography, drawing, painting, is really just a creative way to express what you want to be able to sell. And we also work with the Creative Co-op, which is the space where we allow students to sell their businesses on our site. So currently we have Created by Nicole, we have Shop with Morals by Forrest, and we have Youth Apparel by Zeta. So these are the 5 largest events, as previously mentioned. These donations will be used to cover planning and staff. So these are the events: the pop-up extravaganza, which is our main goal to raise enough money to cover the pop-up extravaganza tonight. The pop-up extravaganza will be a brand new event next semester to showcase all of the student businesses, including the thrift store, in a fun and interactive manner. We also wish to fund the fashion show in the fall. the 2 music shows, and the art show, but our main goal for the night is the pop-up extravaganza because we're really excited to bring something new to this element. The 5 largest donations of the night will receive a $25 gift certificate to the Clark Place, which you just heard about. And if you indicate that you would like to cover a full event, we are offering naming rights. So does everybody have a phone in here? Hold your phones up, I want to see them. Everybody hold your phones up. You all got phones? Okay, on your tables, you guys have QR codes. If you need help, people that know the website can walk around and help you, but you should be able to scan a QR code and donate through the Clark EDU website. In the top right corner, you're gonna see 3 lines and a button that says Give when you click on the drop-down menu. And then after that, under donation information, put the amount that you want to donate and select Other under the designated section. Under the Other section, make sure you write Clark Youth Thrift Store. If you don't write Clark Youth Thrift Store, we are not going to get the donations that you send to us. So on your table, you should be able to see it, and you can see an example of what it would look like. I thank you all for your contributions tonight. Personally, I have loved working at the thrift store. It's one of the reasons that I fell in love with Clark, and we look forward to running these events in the future, and we appreciate your dedication and support. Thank you.
As Esther mentioned, the thrift store does cover their cost for running the day-to-day, but these events, she did an excellent job of explaining, but where I see is entrepreneurs of all kinds. Designers will come to the to the fashion show. Artists will actually sell their art. So it just gives them yet another opportunity. So again, as Esther said, we'd really appreciate your donations so we can continue on with this. And anything would be absolutely wonderful. And let me show you. Doesn't everybody want one of these? Doesn't everybody want one of these? A $25 gift certificate to buy from our Clark Place. You could be one of the very first to buy by donating, and we really appreciate your thoughts if you could help us there. All right, we're moving along. We're moving along. So now we're going to move on to the awards. The awards. All right. So can we get back to I'll give you a few minutes if you would like to go ahead and donate while we get the next thing set up. Okay, back in March, we put out a nomination for anyone to nominate any entrepreneur in the following 3 categories. We have Clark Venture of the Year, the Up-and-Coming Student Entrepreneur of the Year, which is first and second years, and then we have the Clark Entrepreneur of the Year. And what I'd like to start with, if you would like to bring this up, is the Up-and-Coming nominations for Up-and-Coming Entrepreneur of the Year. It was a lot. It was a lot. And there really isn't a reasoning behind it that we put in the nomination form, but nobody paid attention to that. What they did is they wrote some wonderful and amazing things about these up-and-coming first and second years. So the committee got together, which was made up of the entrepreneurship faculty, and we read through these and we talked about them, and we narrowed it down from this long list to the top 3. If you'd like to go to them. And these are the top 3, all right? Oh, I see we got it going, we got it going. And then we fought and we beat up each other, and Tim Howley's back there where he's like 6'9", he knocked us all over and said, no, it's gonna be this person, and we all, and Stacy here. And we narrowed it down to our winner, and the winner for the up and coming, entrepreneur. So I want to say something about Anna here, even though her name popped up there and I was screaming before I even got to say anything. For you. There's something really special about this woman right here. She's an international student, and for most of us, we don't understand what that's like to practice entrepreneurship here in the United States. It's no easy feat. There are so many restrictions, and it's heartbreaking, and I've been dealing with a lot of it over the years. And most of the time, we all hear, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. And she was told no so many times, I really just thought she was gonna pack up and go home. I mean, it was constant. But she didn't. She kept coming back to my office, and she figured out how she was gonna do it. She figured out how she was going to put together an experience for international students to be able to experience entrepreneurship like domestic students. The whole process. I'm gonna let her, you better be able to do it in your 30-second elevator speech, okay? I taught you that. So I'm gonna let her quickly say what she's putting together for the fall.
Hi, everyone. This is overwhelming. First, I'd like to thank everyone that nominated me and all of my friends that are here. Professor Quinn, that's been by my side. I don't know if I'd do this if she wasn't like fighting for me. She was like, yes, go. And so it's truly amazing to be here today. And kind of my idea, I'm an international student from Brazil, and it kind of all started making Brazilian brigadeiros, which are like food from home. It's like chocolate truffles that reminded me of home, and it just gave me a sense of peace when sometimes it's hard to feel at home when you're so far away. And I was able to spread joy and spread more of my culture. But as I was navigating entrepreneurship, being different entrepreneurship classes, I was kind of exploring it further as a business. But also when exploring it further, I realized so many restrictions, so many issues with that. So it came the idea of an international food hub that would enable Clark International students to make and sell food from their home country and kind of give international students a space to share food from their home country while giving them like an employment opportunity on campus and being able to foster their entrepreneurial endeavors. So this was more than 30 seconds, but I'd like to thank you all.
I'm gonna rename her No, and she's always, no, everybody told her no, and she said, mm-mm. All right, next up, the next one that we have is the Clark Student Venture of the Year, and these were the nominations. Again, quite a few. And again, it was more of what was said about these companies and these small businesses that was just, it was overwhelming. And again, Professor Halley got started knocking us down, Stacy got back up, and we did this, okay? And we narrowed it down to these top 3 small businesses or ventures. Youth Apparel, Breads and Threads, gotta love that group, and Just for Fun Farms. I wanted to say quickly about Breads and Threads is these two are a partnership that they put together. They sell 2 different things, but they work together to make their businesses keep going forward. Bread is literally real bread. She makes, or they make sourdough bread and other breads, or is it pretty much sourdough? And ties it up in a nice packaging and everything. And then we've got the threads right next to it, and they're selling clothes, and they were the ones that said love on the video because they love what they do. And I just wanted to really point that out. And then we have Just for Fun Farms. Who doesn't know about the microgreens? And Mr. Wu-Tank, all right? Went there, knocked out the competition, walked away with a nice fat check of $3,000. And then Youth Apparel, Zeta is not here tonight, but she also started a small business and is out at that pop-up every single week. So we really had to fight. We really had to fight. And the winner is Just for Fun. So.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. What an honor to have such a wonderful award. Wow. Thank you, Professor Quinn. And I also want to thank everyone else who has supported my venture since October. Less than a year. It's come so far, and it's only gonna go farther. You know, with my business, there is a passion for feeding the community fresh, local, nutrient-dense food, microgreens. I'm so excited, and I'm happy to be such a hard worker. I love to work, and that's just gonna keep on fueling the business. So thank you all for the support. I really appreciate it.
So the Wu-Tank, each school from Wu-Tank, which was those other ones, I think it was Nichols and Holy Cross and WPI. Anyway, we got together, I think it was Tuesday night for our debrief. And actually Nichols has a restaurant, kind of like how we have the thrift store. And the restaurant wanted me to connect them to Just for Fun Farms so they could buy microgreens for their restaurant. So hopefully they've got in touch. I've connected him, so he's moving. All right, it's not really last but least, we got two more. So the next one is the Clark Entrepreneur of the Year. This is anyone. They could be a first year, they could be a senior. I don't know if we had any graduate students, but they could be anyone. And again, we got the fighting going, we read all the things, and these were the ones that were put out there. Another great group. Another wonderful group, and this is after our fighting. We got it down to these three. Natalie Hong, who's known everywhere for her photography. I almost had to tie her down to that chair because she's at every event taking pictures and bringing everybody's memories to life. Sophie Lee, another Wu-Tanker who killed it. She got the highest amount, and she was the only female there. I just thought I might say that. And then Maddie Stegman. She's been with me for 4 years. I mean, she was one of my FYIs. And she started Dough Is Me after a whole bunch of, she's shaking her head, thanks. I don't have to relive that. She had a bunch of businesses before she got to Dough Is Me. And now sometimes people don't even know what her name is. They just call her Dough Is Me. So these are the three finalists. And this one was a big fight. We were fighting, all right? We were fighting. And can we get it? And the winner is so did Sophie send a friend? She said she was sending a friend. What? So Sophie couldn't be here because she won all this money from Wu-Tank, and she's on her way she's at a, what's it called? Dark Force. It's a goth 3-day event where she's planning on setting up a booth, and with her jewelry and everything, her predicted revenue is about $5,000. So she had to pick between the two. She went there instead, whatever. But anyway, there it is. All right, there's one more award. And I started this award, I don't know if I made a slide. Did I? Yes, I did. All right. So I made this award because we've only been doing this. This is only our third year of doing this event. And the first year, the person that I gave it to was the one who actually did all the legwork to make Sigma Nu Tau happen. He was the one that called, sent in all the paperwork. All I had to do was sign. It was Jose Castro. He graduated 2022, I want to say, and he is now the executive director of E4All here in Worcester, and he has just done so well. So I decided to make this award. Well, then the next year, I had Henry Reyes, who is Mr. Entrepreneur. I mean, last year got the thrift store rolling like it had never been. Just so many implemented innovations and initiatives. And I thought, you know what? I need to thank these ones that just take that one extra step for me. And it really is. They do this for me. It's overwhelming, the generosity. And this one for this year, nobody knows who it is. And I'm going to tell you, so many people tried to figure it out. And I said, no, you got to wait. So nobody but me knows this one. But now you get to know. The funny thing is this is not on Canva, which is what everybody uses nowadays to make these beautiful PowerPoints and presentations and all this stuff. I couldn't use it because we share an account. So I had to do it on PowerPoint, so it's not as pretty as, I know, I couldn't. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go in and make a really nice one this year, and then I was like, no, everybody will see it. So I couldn't do that, and I wasn't gonna let anyone know. But I wanted to say something about Natalie. Natalie's the kind of person that walks into my office with an idea every single time she comes in. And she just doesn't come in with an idea, she comes in with the implementation strategy. She comes in with who's gonna help her get there. And she gets it done. And she gets it done beyond. And she has put the entrepreneurship program in the forefront of, it seems like everything she thinks about, even though I know there's probably other things, I don't know what else, but she branded us, she put together a whole branding kit for us, so we're straight across the board for every single one of our ventures. Everything that we do has been her design, and it's something that's gonna get us more recognition over and over and over again. And like I said, she walks in, here's what I wanna do, and the next time she walks in, it's done, and she's got another initiative. And I could not thank her enough for everything that she's done for our program.
I wasn't really prepared to speak, but I would like to thank my team. Rachel has been a really big supporter, and she's had my back since the very beginning. I want to thank my other team members, Isabella and Matt. They've been working really hard and helping me implement a lot of these ideas. Professor Quinn, obviously, she's the one who really supports me. And sometimes there are times where I just don't know if this is going to work, and she's just there for me. And just everyone else in this program, I'm really appreciative, and I'm really grateful to be here.
So that is our program. Oh my goodness, I get to go home and see my dogs earlier. I don't know how we're gonna figure this out. It's gonna take a couple days for us to go in and see who our donors were. And again, if you take those cards on your table, share it with people at work or friends, family, anyone that would like to continue to see the thrift store continue with all the different events, please feel free to continue to donate. But we will let you know the 5 top ones, or the 5 first ones that came in for your $25 gift certificate, and you can buy on Clarkett. So thank you everybody very, very much, and have a really wonderful, oh, whoa, Danny. Sure, yeah, okay. Everybody up here with your plaques and your awards.